From the top, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Makita na ko, ma'am. Introduction. Juvenile delinquency is very rampant nowadays. Juvenile delinquency refers to antisocial and criminal behavior com- com- sorry. In this way, juvenile delinquency is the child and adolescent version of crime. Growing up and raised by a Christian family, all of us are get educated on how to respect one another, show love, especially to do not commit petty crimes and heinous crimes. Statement of the problem. This study generally deals with the incident cases of juvenile delinquency of Palamalak MSWDO for the past 2 years. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following questions. First, chapter 1, ma'am. Wala, ma'am. Wala na ko na bit-bit. Yes, ma'am. Sige, ma'am.
Mag-share screen ko, ma'am. Okay. Mag-start ako, ma'am. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Angela Rose A. Valencia. I am 18 years old and I am taking up Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics strand. And today I will present to you the research study of the biodiversity team, which is entitled Flora and Fauna Characterization in Gullies 113A-B, 110A to 109C, and 107A to 103C as basis for biodiversity conservation. Ma'am, magdiretso na ako sa introduction. Dili na ako magbaba pa dire. Okay, okay. Biodiversity is... Opo, ma'am, nag-ingon ko tong I will present to you. Ay, ma'am, pwede ka nang akong gibuhat, ma'am, kay ka nang summary lang siya sa introduction. Okay. Biodiversity is a very important issue in the context of analysis of ecology, sustainable development, and the protection of natural environment, including above all the natural sites of biologically deposited ecosystems, and those are characterized by high biodiversity. The Philippines is one of 18 mega-diverse, biodiverse countries of the world, containing two-thirds of the Earth's biodiversity and between 70% and 80% of the world's plant and animal species. The Philippines is also one of the world's biodiversity hotspots, with at least 700 threatened species, thus making it one of the top global conservation areas. The research focuses primarily on the characterization of flora and fauna in gullies 113AB, 110A to 109C, and 107A to 103C of Barangay Quinilis, Barangay Canary, and Barangay Poblacion of Palomaloc, South Cotabato as basis for biodiversity conservation. In soil formation and its conservation, biodiversity plays an important role. In the current situation, due to gully erosions, Palomaloc, South Cotabato had a crisis that caused a lot of damage in the municipality from dams to plants and animals. As this problem is still not resolved at present, Mayantana Foundation, unsa na siya incorporated or incorporation? Sige po. Incorporated will allow the conservation of biodiversity through a thorough evaluation in line with the inventory of the classifications of each life of vegetation and animal characterization. The data collected help determine SOP, ma'am. Okay. Specifically, this study answers the following questions. What are the common flora and fauna that are found along the gullies? What are the factors affecting vegetation distribution? And what are the possible strategies for rehabilitation of degraded gully areas? Tapos, ma'am, dilian ako ni apilan ang mga conceptual framework. Okay. Kaning kuan, ma'am, kaning. Okay. Okay, ma'am. So the researchers characterized the flora and fauna found and present in the gullies, composing the biodiversity conservation along it by using tables. The researchers also used diagrams to identify the factors that affect the vegetation distribution. Tapos mag-ingan pa ko, ma'am, katong transect walk method. Okay. So the researchers used the transect walk method to gather all the plants. No, wait lang, ma'am. Wait lang, ma'am. Okay. The researchers used transect walk method for them to gather the faunas and flora present in the gully. Tapos, ma'am, ato na ako sa chapter 4. So, I will move on to chapter 4.
Moving on to...
Okay, sir. Moving on to chapter 4. Wait lang. Okay. So in this table, we can see the list of fauna found and present in the said gullies. The data shows that there are 0 to few faunas found at gully 107A to 103C, and faunas are mostly found at gullies 113A and 110A to 109C. Insects, however, are present and found along the gullies. Nalibog na po. Wait lang, ma'am. Flora, fauna. Okay. Mag-ulit ko, ma'am. Sige, ma'am. So, in the first table, ipakita na ko ni ma'am as well saying na is okay. In the first table, we can see the flora and fauna found and present in the gullies, composing the biodiversity conservation along it. Okay. For the categories of flora found and present in the said gullies, the result shows that the trees are dominant, followed by shrubs, grass, and herbs, and there are few pines, root crops, herbaceous legume plant, and fern. So in this table, table 7, We can see the list of fauna found and present in the said gullies. The data shows that there are zero to few faunas found at gully 107A to 103C, and faunas are mostly found at gullies 113A and 110A to 109C. Insects, however, are present and found in all the gullies. For the categories of fauna found and present in the said gullies, the results showed that there are more insects sighted at the gullies than birds. Factors that affect the vegetation distribution. Ma'am, okay lang kung maulang niya akong ipakita sa ano? Okay. I-explain lang ako siya. Okay. There, ma'am. Okay. Wait lang, ma'am. Ay, na-open siya, ma'am. Dili ko makita. Oo, di ko makita. Sige po. Okay. This research was conducted to classify the flora and fauna present in 113A to 109 to 110C and 103C gully. Factors affecting the conservation and distribution of biodiversity and vegetation have also been studied, as well as possible strategies for the restoration of degraded gully areas. The study's qualitative method was used, and the transect walk was used to collect flora and fauna data. Tables and checklists are used as a data collection tool and as a diagram for factors that can influence the distribution of vegetation in flora. During the year 2019 to 2020, the research was conducted. Based on the data collected, this study demonstrates that the biodiversity found along the specified gullies 113A, 109C, 110A, 103C at Palamalok, South Cotabato is composed of existing flora and fauna. We conducted the data by transect walk method with the Mahintana Foundation Incorporated. The gully consists of 7 birds, 9 insects, 14 shrubs, 4 herbs, 23 trees, 2 vines, and 2 root crops, 1 herbaceous legume plant, 1 fern, and 5 grass. The total number of floras we have found in the gully is 52, while there are 17 types of faunas found. This study determined the factors affecting vegetation distribution that includes climate, animals, human activities, and soil type for biodiversity conservation. For the recommendation, the researchers recommend using alternative geotextiles that is made of pineapple fiber around the area of the gullies to prevent soil erosion. The researchers recommended to have monthly visitation in the gullies to observe any differences. The researchers recommended to assign some people to guard the gullies to avoid the people who are throwing their garbage in the gullies. The researchers also recommend to increase the water usage by planting deep-rooted perennial pastures, trees, or an appropriate mixture of both, thus maintaining healthy, vigorous levels of vegetation. And lastly, the researchers recommend that to request LGU to declare the gully as protected area to protect the flora and fauna. Hantod diri lang siya, ma'am. Dili na ako mag-ingon og kuan, ma'am, tong project.
Angela,
Yes,
Angela,
sir.
dear.
Yes, sir.
Paki ano sa imong numbering ha sa recommendation nimo.
Yes,
Ha,
sir.
pa-check lang ko.
I-edit po. Opo.
Ha?
Opo, yes, sir.
Okay, go.
Ma'am Tin. Ay, wait lang, ma'am. Ma'am, dili na nako siya ano ang project proposal, iingon. Okay. So, after sa recommendation na, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So, taas kaayo. Sige, ma'am. Sige, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Wait lang. Sige, the research okay. So that concludes our research study. If there will be any suggestions or questions, ay dili na lang unsa na ko ingon. Sige. The researcher is now ready for any suggestions and questions. Okay na to siya,
Ano na
ma'am.
lang,
Sorry.
I am now ready for, basta, tama na to, the researcher is now ready for question and open for suggestions.
Suggestions. Okay, sir.
Tapos, Angela,
Yes,
if
sir.
possible, pag mag-present ko, di ba, chapter 1, chapter 2, and so on, di ba, ano man imong kuan, you
Yes,
use,
sir.
transition devices para sa
Mm-mm.
para maka-proceed na, para naay ka ng, sa baka ng signal nga mag-proceed na kasi next
Proceed na.
chapter.
Okay po,
Ha?
sir. Sige
Make
po,
use
sir.
of transition devices as many as you can para perfect.
Yes, sir. Sige.
Goals.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Valencia. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good morning. I mean, good afternoon.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sige. Baka masipyat ka ugma, ha? Okay, question number one. My question number one is, what are your learnings in doing this research?
In doing this research, I am more close to um, conserving, and wait lang, sir. Ginakulbaan ko. Wait lang.
Eh, kulba-kulba day.
So in doing this research, I have many learnings that I okay. Mag-answer na ako, sir.
Sige, go lang, go lang.
Okay. So in doing this research, I have learned many things. So the first learning,
Such as,
I've learned to develop uh, my teamwork skills with along with my biodiversity team, and I've also learned that nature is very important in our biodiversity conservation because it helps us wait lang, sir. Nakulbaan ko.
ay, kulba. Tama man to.
Ayun lang.
Asa na akong plato?
Wait lang din, sir. Oh, i-close na ako. Wait lang, sir.
Okay. Go, Sherwin. Okay na to, Angela. Bantayin lang to.
Katungot.
Oh, Angela, ay padlock.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Angela.
Good afternoon,
I am the commissioner. I am the commissioner of
Question. What were
flora
you
and
learning?
fauna.
What were your learnings? Okay.
Nawala na siya. Tapos na ang kugang.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Go, Angela. Usod
Angela,
ka.
katong question, Angela, ha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay po, ma'am. So good afternoon, panels and judges. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Sherwin Ortigosa, 18 years old, and I am currently enrolled here in St. Lorenzo School of Palamulok Incorporated. taking up accountancy and business management strand. So for today, we will going to tackle about the research entitled Incident Cases of Juvenile Delinquency of Palamalak MSWDO for the past 2 years. Juvenile delinquency refers to antisocial and criminal behavior committed by person under the age of 18. Once person reach adulthood, antisocial and criminal behavior is known as crime. In this way, juvenile delinquency is the child and adolescent version of crime. This study entitled Incident Cases of Juvenile Delinquency of Palamalok MSWDO for the past 2 years. It shows the number of incidents of juvenile delinquency reported in Palamalok for the last 2 years in terms of minor and major crimes. And second, the juvenile delinquency reported in terms of minor and major crimes. And lastly, the interventions done by MSWDO. This research was conducted at Palamalok Municipal Social Welfare and Development Office, and rest assured that the data collected from MSWD will always remain confidential. Moving on to chapter 3, chapter 1, statement of the problem. This study generally deals with the incident cases of juvenile delinquency of Palamalok MSWDO for the past 2 years. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following questions. First, how many incidents of juvenile delinquency were reported in Palamalok for the last 2 years in terms of minor and major crimes? Second, what are the juvenile delinquency incidents reported in terms of minor and major crimes? And lastly, what are the interventions done by MSWDO? Moving forward to
Nor, mag-evaluate ka sa kuan, so judge sa ABM Food Fair. Ito ang mangyayari. Wednesday, present sa hello, anong learn? Sige lang. Sherwin, ano ang learning mo? Ano ang learning mo out of this? Ito. Ito,
out of
i-judge mo
this.
ang website navigation, i-judge mo. Ang taste, magdi-deliver sila sa'yo ng
So let's proceed to chapter 4, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of the data. Table 1 shows the total incidents reported in Polomalok MSWDO for the past 2 years. For minor crimes, year 2018 has the most number of incident cases with a number of 86, and followed by year 2017 with the lowest number of incidents reported in 49. For major crimes, year 2018 with the majority of the incidents reported in the number of 6, and followed by year 2017 with the lowest number of incidents reported of 3. So let's moving on to chapter 5, summary, conclusions, and recommendations. Summary. Juvenile delinquency cases of Palamalok for the year 2017 and year 2018 is increasing. Juvenile delinquency is very rampant in Palamalok for the past 2 years. A lot of teenagers in Palamalok are not engaged in minor and major crimes, and one of these is stealing, curfew, stealing volatile substance, stowaway for minor crimes, rape, drugs, illegal possession of firearms, and theft for major crimes, and that is the commonly crimes that juvenile delinquent children violates. Conclusions. Many teenagers are involved into petty crimes and heinous crimes. I conclude that they got engaged on that situation because of lack of proper parenting guidance from their parents. Some parents don't make a time for their children. Some parents neglect their children, and some parents forgot to check the well-being of their children. So by that reason, even if we keep on reversing the globe, still it's the parents' fault, for I believe that good manners should come first from their houses. Recommendations on this case study research that the local government may create programs that assist families and children by providing them information. First, programs that inform parents on responsible parenting, how to raise healthy children, and teach children about the effect of drugs, gangs, sex, and weapons. And second, youth programs designed to fit the personality and skills of different children and may include sports, dancing, music, art, and other activities, and provide youths with the awareness that their action has consequences. And lastly, parent-child interaction training program that places parents and children in interactive situations, guide the parents on how to best respond to their children's behavior, whether positive or negative. The researcher is ready for your questions and recommendations. Kinsa to? Hoy,
Usay mo gigamit.
Ano ka ba naman?
Ana wala ka man nagamit.
Na, kidaman.
Hello! Ma'am, bagong matang akong naong kayo, ma'am. Wait lang. Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Okay na? Okay na.
Yun, kinagawira, ma'am. Sure. Wait lang, ma'am. Ay.
Ano ka na sige? Oh, so yun okay.
Hello? Mag Magunsa gani, ma'am? Pounds.
Magistoryahan lang daw ta diri.
Ani. Kinsa ola, uy. Grabe. Pound.
Ma'am, sabog kaayo me.
Wait lang. Ano sa ko yan, dire? Desktop
Mag-share screen
window?
ka daw.
Ah, are. Wait lang. Lala. Actually, wala ko nakasend ng link. Wag ko na kumata. Sorry, people. Ano sa kanya? Ay, mo saan siya? Kopya ko lang ni. Alam mo, wrong. Na-wrong ang send ko. Saon ni man? Ay, mag-awa sa chat. Ta. Yay!
Ah, tangan ako dira oy. Unsa ka na iingon dere ma'am? Pwede na ako ano lang akong emergency sa ma'am. Dito na magud ako. Ma'am, di na ako ka madunggan, ma'am. Ah, Ma'am Choppy. Wait lang, dua lang niyo, ma'am. Dire na lang ako mamit sa ma'am.
Introduce yourself and then read the panels tapos start ka na sa mong research.
Emergency lang. Di ba, ma'am?
Kung sa akong giingon.
Nakalimot ko, ma'am.
Ako sa ma'am, natulog lamang gud ko, ma'am. Hello. Unsa na siya?
Mag-anak ko kasi mga Go pa kadulog kayo, das pa mo.
Pound sana ni sir.
Ha?
Pound sana ni sir.
Mag-start na lang ang StreamYard
Wait lang, ma'am.
Ay, ma'am, nakalagyan eh. Nakastream.
Naka-YouTube. Ah. OMG. Ah. Sige, ma'am. Mag-start na ako, ma'am. So, good morning. Morning, Madiba Defense. So, good morning, panel. My name is K. Vivian Petines, and I'm here to present to you my research, which is entitled "Effectiveness of Guayabana Seed Extract and Eucalyptus Oil as Anti-lice Serum." Saan yung abstract, ma'am? Okay. So, for a quick overview of the problem and the setting. So, head lice infestation is a serious problem among Filipino households because victims usually experience itching which causes scalp and hair damage and social discomfort. Commercial treatments for this problem have been manufactured, but Filipinos still lack access to commercial healthcare. Safer alternative treatments are also preferred. Now, guyabano contains seeds that is usually discarded as it is inedible and toxic. It contains a substance called acetogenin, known for its high insecticidal properties. Eucalyptus, on the other hand, is widely used for its medicinal properties. It can also be used as an insecticide, specifically its leaves oil extract that is more effective against insects than any other natural products. In line with these conditions, the researcher plans to use the seeds of the guayabano and eucalyptus leaves for their insecticidal property by making it the main ingredient for a natural anti-lice serum. The study will test its effectiveness along with its safeness and shelf life. In doing so, the researcher can also help in reducing the problem in seed waste and lice infestation. So the purpose of this research is to test the effectiveness of guayabana seed extract and eucalyptus oil for lice treatment. As the extracts will serve as an ingredient for a hair product, its shelf life and side effects will also be considered. Specifically, the researcher aims to answer the following questions. Number one, how effective is the guayabana seed extract and eucalyptus oil in killing head lice? Number two, how safe is the product for the skin and scalp? Number three, how long will the anti-lice serum last? Sa next ani, ma'am. So let's first. Basta diri akong basis, ma'am. Sa paradigm lang ako mag-base, ma'am. So for my procedure, as you can see in my paradigm, I had three main procedures. First is the preparation. Next is the preparation of the materials. Next is the extraction of the seed extract and the eucalyptus oil. And lastly is the mixing in order to formulate the anti-lice serum. So with three treatments, I produced a guayabana seed extract and eucalyptus oil anti-lice shampoo. After producing these three treatments, I tested its effectiveness by the frequency count of mortality of brine shrimps. In this case, I use brine shrimps instead of lice as brine shrimps are nakalimutan ko ma'am, wait lang. Bakit ko nga ito As basta ma'am, katong brine shrimp ang ginagamit sa laboratory ma'am to test the plant extracts of the toxicity of plant extracts, which is why like brine shrimps are used as the alternative test subjects instead of lice due to the ongoing pandemic din di ko rin magamit ang lice. The next is the safety. The safety was observed. I was tested through observation through lack of side effects such as the burning of skin, redness, and scalp irritation. This was ano yan? Ano yung word? This was the test was done by giving the by a number of respondents who tested who applied the product on their skin and on their scalp and a safety checklist. And lastly, the shelf life was tested through observation for about 14 days, ideal span of 14 days, and it was through observation if there was discoloration, formation of bubbles, and molds. And then the effectiveness was analyzed through a Likert scale and ANOVA single factor plus a chef test to obtain the results as well as the safe and yes ma'am, yun no yun ma'am. Nakalimutan ko. Mag-practice lagi ko ma'am. Okay, so for the chapter 4, for the effectiveness of Cuyabanas, for the chapter 4, or which in here will present the presentation and analysis and interpretation of data for the first statement of for the first problem, which is the effectiveness of Cuyabana seed extract and eucalyptus oil anti-lice serum. Here in this table, as you can see, are the results for effectiveness of the treatments through frequency count of mortality of brine shrimps and was presented with Likert scale. So on table 6, it shows that in the table above, it shows that treatment 3 was very effective in terms of killing head lice. Treatment 1 was also effective, while treatment 2 was moderately effective compared to treatment 1 and 3. Treatment 0 was only slightly effective in terms of killing head lice. And by using data analysis for effectiveness using ANOVA single factor, it was revealed that with a level of significance that is 0.05, it was revealed that it has a p-value of 0.0009. And since the level of significance is 0.05 and 0.0009 is less than 0.09, the null hypothesis, which states that there is no significant difference in all treatments in terms of killing head lice, is rejected. And since there are significant difference between the treatments, Chef test was used to confirm which treatments are significantly different with each other. And with this, it was revealed that treatment 0 and treatment 1 are significantly different with each other, and as well as treatment 0 and treatment 3 are also significantly different with each other. This is due to the fact that treatment 3 contains eucalyptol responsible for the mortality rate and mortality of the test subjects, while treatment 0 had none. Treatment 0 and treatment 2 are also significantly different with each other. And treatments 1, 2, and 3 had no significant differences with each other as their formulations as well as their effectiveness are just closely similar to each other. Next, what is the safeness of the guayabano seed extract and eucalyptus oil anti-lice serum? So here is the table that shows the results. So from the data collected from the respondents shown above, in terms of safety of the product, only treatment 1 had side effects, One respondent noted that she experienced a headache when the treatment was applied on her hair and scalp. However, no side effects on the skin were noted. Lastly is the shelf life of the guayabana seed extract and eucalyptus oil anti-lice serum. So based on the table, all treatments lasted for more than the ideal span of 14 days. No changes based on discoloration, formation of bubbles, and growth of molds were observed in the treatment. So for our chapter 5, which is the summary, conclusion, and recommendation. So for the summary, both guayabano seed extract and eucalyptus oil are effective in terms of killing head lice. Treatment 3, having 15% of the guayabano seed extract and 35% of the eucalyptus oil, was the most effective treatment. Treatment 1, having 35% of the guayabano seed extract and 15% of the eucalyptus oil, was also effective. Treatment 1, having 25% of the guayabano seed extract and 25% of the eucalyptus oil, was less effective than the two. Treatment 0, which did not have both extracts, was only slightly effective. Treatment 1 was the only treatment observed to have a side effect. One respondent noted to have gained a headache after the anti-lice serum was applied. The rest of the treatments had no side effects as noted by the respondents. No side effect on the skin and scalp was observed. And lastly, all treatments lasted for more than the ideal span of 14 days as no changes were observed during its observation period. So for the conclusion, based on the results gathered, treatment 3 was the most effective among all treatments in killing head lice. No effects on skin and scalp were observed, but there is another possible side effects not concerning the skin that was observed as treatment 1 was noted by one respondent to have caused her headache. The product lasts longer than its ideal span. By the use of ANOVA and Chef test, it was revealed that treatments 1, 2, and 3 were significantly different from treatment 0 or the control treatment, thus concluding that the guayabano seed extract and eucalyptus oil for an anti-lice serum is effective in terms of killing head lice. Happy pang recommendation, ma'am. So for the recommendations, first is use actual head lice for the testing instead of a substitute to produce more accurate results. Look for a better oil extraction process for both ingredients, especially the seeds, to yield more accurate results. When doing the extraction process on leaves, consider leaving them on the solvent for a longer period of time to extract more oils. Research further on the possible side effects of the extracts on person. Also consider researching on the base ingredients of the product if they can also cause side effects. Lastly, consider using actual head lice for the testing instead of a substitute to produce more accurate results. And that concludes my research, sir, and now I'm open for your questions regarding my research. Ang lutang po ng ano ko. Thank you, ma'am. Walay
Magpalutang
question
ay
jud,
lang
ma'am.
dot kay.
Hala,
Nadunggan
oy.
ko, ma'am.
Kulbaan naman ko.
Wala na jud mo, mas in. Ani jud ang mic, nadunggan mo, ma'am. Char, sana all. Walay kamera si Sir diri, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Char, koan. Mag-introduce ko, ma'am, no, sa akong self. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, dear panel, adjudicators, fellow researchers. I am Matchafel M. Hinito. I'm grade 12. Ah, oo, basta mauna to siya. I'm a grade 12 STEM student of St. Lorenzo School of Palomaloc Incorporated, having this research entitled Thermal Insulating Capacity of cookware handles made from granulated corn cobs. Basehan na ako na akong Emrad si ma'am para na ako na yeah, that's my face. So as for introduction, using asa ko introduction? I-open gid ni siya ma'am, okay. Using the proper cookware can make cooking better in the kitchen, in industry, as well as in the construction industry, particularly natural and organic waste materials may be used as cookware handles. The researcher wants to know the effectiveness of granulated corn cob as cookware handle. The objective of this study is to make ways to maximize the potentials of agricultural wastes that will help in reducing non-biodegradable materials found in our kitchen, specifically in our cookware. This helped to minimize the non-biodegradable cookware handles materials and reduce pollution. And that's sunod, ma'am. With the following problems to answer. First, is the granulated corn cob effective as thermal insulating cookware handle? Second, how durable is the granulated corn cob as cookware handle in terms of letter A, breaking strength, letter B, thickness, letter C, water resistance? The third question, how consistent will its thermal insulating capacity how consistent will its thermal insulating performance after number of use periods? Number four, is there any significant difference among treatments in terms of thermal insulating capacity? So to formally have this, I know chapter three. To done this research by having those three treatments, which consists of treatment one having 50 grams of granulated corn cob to 150 grams of glue, treatment two with 75 grams of granulated corn cob with 150 grams of glue, treatment three with 100 grams of granulated corn cob with 150 grams of glue, with replicates which is having less than uh sa to? Kalimot ko ma'am, unsa to kung less than o greater than sa centimeters. Okay. So these three treatments undergo three tests. First is the thermal insulating capacity, which is tested through the Likert scale of thermal insulating capacity. Then getting to test its consistency. Ah, lagout siya. Oh, nalagaw siya ni Edward. Then test its consistency. Then the results will be tested through ANOVA. The second one is the water resistance and breaking strength, which is tested through Likert scale of water resistance and breaking strength. The third one is the thickness and tested through checklists. So, yung susunod. So this is my treatments, treatment 1, treatment 2, and treatment 3. The same with thermal insulating capacity in instrument. Isa pa, breaking strength instrument, water resistance instrument, thickness instrument. So here's my basis for the replicates. We have the I have based my thickness into 1.8 centimeters. Then the results are assessed by the indicators of the three instruments: the breaking strength, water resistance, and thermal insulating capacity. And the rating points of each Likert scale are conducted. Next. Unsa sunod ani ma'am? Okay. As the summary of the findings, to summarize these 6 points, for thermal insulating capacity, as top notcher, we have the top three. In first place, we have treatment two, replicate number three, bragging the second spot is the treatment 2, replicate number 3, and treatment 2, replicate number 1, and replicate number 2. Tama ba? And for the third spot with the treatment 3, replicate 2, and replicate 3. For breaking strength, we have in the first spot we have treatment 1, replicate 2, and replicate 3. Second spot we have treatment 1, replicate 1, treatment 2, replicate 2, and replicate 3. For treatment 2, ano saan yun? Oh, third place we have treatments 2, replicate 1, and treatment 3, replicate 2. For water resistance, we have treatment 1, replicate 1, treatment 2, delay. Treatment 1, replicate 1, replicate 2, and replicate 3. For second place, we have treatment 2. All of the three treatments I replicates, and treatment number 3, replicate number 3. For the third one, we have treatment 3, replicate 1. And for the thickness, the result came up with that the performance of each replicate in all treatment varies differently in all sizes. And the result of the ANOVA, since the p-value of the study had garnered greater than 0.05, the null hypothesis was accepted. And with that, it is safe to say that there is no significant difference between among all treatments in terms of their thermal insulating capacity. As a summary of efficiency, it is treatment 2, replicate 3, replicate 2, and replicate 1 as the highest score, which means treatment 2, replicate 3, treatment 2, replicate 3 has the highest score among all the tests. Ay, ano saan eh? Sa tawagan ni ma'am, treatments. Yung wala ako gabasa, ma'am. Na-address lang ako ang ano. Tulungan ako. Bala na siya, ma'am. Okay. So, without further ado, the researcher is now ready to accept or receive questions. Uh,
Yes, miss. Hello. So, ganun po. Yun pa diyan. Na ako sa balay. Nag-airplane. Sa dito. Halimbawa na welcome to the Senior High School Culminating Activity Research Oral Defense. At this juncture, allow me to introduce to you our Board of Judges. Our first judge, blah, blah, blah. Humana dayon. And at this moment, let me introduce to you our researchers. Our first presenter, ang dapat miss na presenter, dapat no? Presenter, no? Our first presenter, blah, 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 ano dayon. Second, third, fourth. Pila sila kabuok? Okay, first, second, third, fourth. Tapos, ano sa dayon? Okay. Let us welcome our presenter number 1. Humana dayon. Okay. Okay. Sige. Go. Perfect. Sige. Okay, go, go.
Ma'am, unsa oras ug